Chris Palmer, Head of Global Emerging Market with Henderson, joins us from London to walk us through what he makes of the current rally in Indian stocks and other emerging markets. Chris, good morning and thank you for joining us. With this table-thumping victory for NDA, do you think Indian markets or Indian economy is now on course to implement reforms which have been long pending? And do you think a new bull market has started?
Certainly the broad mandate that the incoming government has received is going to make it easier to pass reforms. And investors have welcomed that with quite a lot of enthusiasm. The question remains, what kinds of reforms are going to be passed and what kind of deals will the government have to enter into both nationally and regionally in order to make those reforms stick. I'd like to hear more about what reforms the government has in mind and how will they be able to transfer some of their experience in their traditional home base of Gujarat and transfer that into a national agenda for India.
Right, Chris, hi, morning. So will India continue to be a buy on dips market for you, and will you look to allocate more?
We've been allocating more to India on the idea that this election would be very successful in deciding a clear winner. And that's the first step that we think India needed, was a clear winner in the election. Having gotten past that point, one of the things that is a concern for us in the recent rally is the fact that it's largely companies which have been unsuccessful in the last 5 years and even 10 years which have rallied the most. At some point, we think investors need to take a step back and say, wait a second, I'm investing in a company here which hasn't made any money, has overspent or is behind schedule in many of its projects. What is it about the Modi government which is going to make that suddenly a great investment idea? I think that's where the market may have run ahead of itself in terms of this election and the types of companies which are being promoted as good investment ideas into this government's term.
So, Chris, do you think the new normal for rupee is going to be sub 60 now?
The Indian rupee is really in charge of its own destiny in that the currency clearly is a reflection of people's views on the potential success of the government in passing meaningful reforms which are going to do things like reduce India's budget deficit, improve its tax collection, and improve competitiveness in India. Right now, the currency market's telling you that people believe this is possible. But go back 1 year ago, and there was very little conviction at all. The currency market can change direction quickly if this government passes reforms or tries to enact reforms which either fail to pass, which is still a significant risk, or those reforms, in fact, turn unpopular.
Right. Do you think India has started a secular bull run with favorable election results as well now?
I think the market already had those election results well in mind when it started to rally last year into this election. Right now, what we believe we're seeing from the election is late cycle companies, late stage companies, and laggards having remarkable performance over a very short period of time, in some cases just days. But that would be after many of these stocks lagged, as I've said, for many years. I think the market is likely to take a pause right now and assess just what these reforms are and how popular they will be. And I will give you a very simple example. People are enthusiastic about energy policy in India. However, if energy policy in India means that there are mandated either price rises for the public, that's going to be unpopular with the mass consumer. Or if there's price freezes for companies deemed to be monopolies, that's going to be unpopular with business. The Modi government has a lot of hard decisions to make about how they reform energy in India.